Good morning, everyone. We are at Chief Don Miracle, Mohawk's the Bay of Quinte, elected chief. We are now in the council chambers on October the 5th for our regular council meeting. Present, we have Councillor Chris Miracle, Councillor Ted Miracle, Councillor Stacia Loft. The Chief Administrative Officer is joining us by a Zoom call this morning. The Director of Operations, Senior Director of Operations is here in person, Angela Miracle, and we have Shelley Bowden, the Recording Secretary to Council, and my assistant, Amzie Miracle. Councillor Josh Hill had other commitments, so he was not able to be with us today. So it is our tradition to give Thanksgiving to the Creator for all that He provides for us, especially at this time of Thanksgiving with the abundance of food we have. We're grateful that all the elements of nature did as the Creator instructed, and we still have the blessing of the Creator that we have food to eat, and that there haven't been too many storms or fires or that have impacted our community, and where we ask for the Creator to always watch over us and help us, and that we continue to live in the ganastado, the protected house. So it's our tradition to say a traditional Thanksgiving, and it's called Ohodon Gariwat Tego. There are many versions of this, so I'm doing a short version. Ganjokwa Sedawan Siyos, Go Nigariwesa, Ne Egadi, Ohodon Gariwat Tego, Ungadi Wat No Hunghode, Aguego Unska Adeniwe Noni Ne Wat Negora, Dano De Tidiwe Rados Ne Agwe Sonha Aguego, Skono Agohage. Aguego, Unska Aderiwe Noni, Neo Guatnigora, Dano, De Tinwe Rados, Nea Detni Stonha, Gio Anjadi, Gisego, Jatka, Gokwa, Hohades, Ago Satstonsera, Na Aeoni, Yohage, Aguego, Unska Aderiwe Noni, Neo Guatnigora, Dano, De Tinwe Rados, Ne Aguego, Yowaze, Ase, G. Owanjade. Aguego, Unska Aderiwe Noni, Neo Guatnigora. Dano, de tiliwe rados ne aguego, yo wa awase G. Garohiadi. Dano, ono gadi aguego, de siwe no we rado, ne sungwaya dizo, ne gasat stonsera, no saoyera, eto neo dunhap neo guatnigora. It translates, my people, listen for a short time. The business has come to pass. Everyone, we will bring our minds together as one and send our greetings to the people so that peace will continue for all. Everyone, we will bring our minds together as one and send our greetings to our Mother, the Earth, as she still goes along, giving of her own strength for us to live good lives. Everyone, we will bring our minds together as one and send our greetings to all things that support us on the earth. Everyone, we will bring our minds together as one and send our greetings to all things that support us in the sky and the heavens. And now we send our greetings to Songboyat Dizo, the Creator, the great strength of the natural world. Let this always continue in our minds. And in the Christian tradition, it's the Lord's Prayer. Sungwat niha de garunghyage de shidaro, wagwasanada gonti, sayanetsra a andawat, jinunsere et niawni ne huhunjagi, jonanito ne garunghyage, dagyo ne goetni saradi, natali saragi guanadarok ne oni. Dondagriosto, ne jon guari wanero, jita de gari stonis ne rowdy gorna axero. Ego is a sawak, na gayanetsra, na gasat stonsra, always onsra, Jenyahoe. Oh. And in English, it is Our Father, who art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. The council has an agenda before you. And so the items that are on the agenda is the first item is to review and adopt the agenda. There is the council minutes of September the 27th, 2023. Then there's a session for any business arising from the minutes. The council meetings that are approved are October 16th and 17th ISC joint gathering in Toronto. On November the 2nd and 3rd is the Iroquois caucus. November the 6th and 7th is IESO symposium. November the 14th to the 15th is the AI HISAB meeting in London. And the AI portfolio holder invitation. New housing financial analyst team term position. The splash pad. Volleyball courts. The upcoming council meetings are today's meeting, October the 5th. The 11th of October is the local council business. October the 19th at 9:30 is the regular council meeting. October the 25th is at 7 p.m. is the local business meeting. November's meetings. November the 1st, the regular council will meet at 9:30. November the 8th, the local council business will be at 7 o'clock in the evening. November the 5th at 9:30 a.m. is the regular council. November the 22nd at 7 p.m. is the local business meeting. December the 13th will be the 9:30 a.m. meeting to wrap up any the minutes of council following the election.
Chief, I was told that the Iroquois caucus is now November 29th and 30th in Ottawa.
November 29th and 30th?
In Ottawa, yes. And I believe that was to set up meetings with MPs and senators. Yep, November 29th and 30th in Ottawa is what I got from Shushu.
Okay, that will be added to the list then.
Well, that needs to be changed because you read the IC off on your list.
It's up top, see it?
Yeah, you read November 2nd and 3rd.
Okay.
That's on.
And I've been told that it's changed now to November 29th.
Okay, we'll correct that then in the minutes and to read to incorporate the change. So
And
the
also,
2nd and the 3rd, it'll be the 29th and 30th.
right, and also to clarify, it's November 15th is the regular TMC, not the 5th. When you read it, you said the 5th, so I just want to say.
It's on the agenda for the 5th. That's today's.
It's the 15th for November. You read, when you spoke it out, you said the 5th, and I was just wanting to make sure it's clear that it's the 15th.
No, okay, November 15th is the regular council meeting.
Correct.
Okay, my apologies. So then we will have a private session of council. We'll review and adopt the agenda. Pardon me? Okay. So motion to adopt the regular agenda for October the 5th. We'll move. Ted? Who will second it?
Chief, I have two add-ons.
And back up.
Okay, and what are the add-ons?
For council to set a couple of dates for the candidates forum for the upcoming election. And the second item, whether you call it point of order, clarity, or like an explanation, as it ties into timeframes for getting back to community members, whether it's investigations, appeals, etc. Number 13 ties into what I'm speaking to, so two add-ons, please, Chief.
Okay, they're in the private agenda. 13.
13, I believe, is a private agenda item, and it ties into the issue.
Yeah, so any items that are in the private agenda, we'll discuss it when that session comes.
Yeah, and then I'd like to discuss it in a private session today.
Okay.
And then the dates for candidates forum could be public.
Yeah, that's public.
But there isn't an option to do the agenda, review and adopt the agenda in private where we could raise that.
Okay.
The other
Okay,
item
I'll
being-
add those then. So that will be the candidates forum with number 8. And you said that the other item, point of order, relates to number 13, right?
Yeah, it's a process issue, Chief.
Okay. It's been moved and set. It's moved by Ted. Is there a seconder to adopt the agenda with the addition?
Yep, I can second that.
Stacia. Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. we will then go to the minutes of the 27th of September. Are there any errors, omissions, or corrections?
I've included my revisions on the drive. That was done
See that.
yesterday.
Okay, and that has been incorporated in this document that we now see before us, Stacia?
I don't see your documents when they're printed, Chief, so I wouldn't be aware of that. I know what is on the drive.
Okay. So I'll just summarize the decisions. So the council met in the council chambers on September the 27th at 10 o'clock in the morning. President were myself, Chief Miracle, Councillors Stacia Hill, Councillor Stacia Loft, Councillor Ted Miracle, and Councillor Chris Miracle. Chief Administrative Officer David Sullier joined by teams. Angela Miracle, Senior Director of Operations, joined by teams. Shelley Bowden, Executive Administrative Assistant and Recording Secretary of Council, was present. Amzie Miracle was present. And my executive assistant, she joined by teams. I opened the meeting with the Hodo Gariwatego and also provided the Lord's Prayer in both the Ganyonkeha language as well as the English language. Motion 1 was moved by Councillor Josh and seconded by Councillor Chris to adopt the agenda as presented. That motion was carried. Motion 2 was moved by Councillor Josh Hill and seconded by Councillor Chris Miracle that the council minutes of September the 13th be approved as corrected, and that motion was carried. Motion 3 was moved by Councillor Chris Miracle and seconded by Councillor Ted Miracle to approve travel outside of the territory as follows. Chief would be attending the Housing on Reserve Tripartite meeting on October 30th and 31st, location to be determined. We're still waiting for confirmation on that. Motion 4 was moved by Chris Miracle and seconded by Stacia Loft to approve scheduling a meeting with Ken Cox, Southern Regional Fire Advisor for the Aviation and Forest Fire Emergency Services Branch of the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry regarding wildfire hazards mitigation and resiliency on November the 15th or 22nd of November. Invite Todd Kring, the Director of Community Infrastructure, and Scott Miracle, Mohawk Fire Chief, to attend. That motion was carried. Council then discussed the request from the Iroquois Caucus. The Blackfoot Confederacy Agreement was an issue. Council would not like the words treaty or sovereignty used in the agreement. Chief Miracle will be attending the Jade Border Treaty Alliance Summit in Calgary with the Iroquois Caucus and the Blackfoot Confederacy leadership on October 11th and 13th. Motion 5 was moved by Councillor Stacia Loft and seconded by Councillor Josh Hill to approve Dahadi Sung Dungye Head Start policy revisions. It was about the admission policy revisions, including the change in the policy regarding placement on the waiting list, ages from 18 months to 24 months for the underage spots unavailable in the morning program, and the addition of the hand sanitizer consent form during the registration process. That motion was carried. Motion 6 was moved by Councillors Chris Miracle and seconded by Councillor Josh Hill to defer the request to create a new financial analyst position within the Housing, Land, and Property Maintenance Department to assess if the position can assist in other departments. The motion was carried. Motion 7 was moved by Councillor Stacia Loft and seconded by Councillor Chris Miracle that this meeting go in private. The council went in private at 11:12 a.m. That motion was carried. The council returned at 12 noon to complete the agenda. Motion 10 was moved by Councillor Ted Miracle and seconded by Stacia Loft to approve awarding the York Road PH3 construction project to Fidelity Engineering and Construction Limited in the amount of $3,942,000. The motion was carried, and that was under budget. Other tenders received for the York Road reconstruction program were from Scott Trudeau Construction, $4,591,958.87. Gordon Bar Limited, $4,635,594. GIP Paving Incorporated, $5,464,553. Council reviewed the request from the Consulate General of the Republic of Indonesia to meet on October the 5th or October the 6th and to learn about the Indian Land Registry System. David Sulier, CAO, to request the Consulate General of the Republic of Indonesia to provide a proposed agenda and a list of questions that they are hoping to have addressed. Council would like also Lisa Miracle, the Director of Community Services, and Amy Smart, Lands Manager, to attend the meeting. Chief Miracle informed Council that Indigenous Discount will provide $4,000 to print and deliver the annual report. Motion 11 was moved by Councillor Josh Hill and seconded by Chris Miracle to approve MBQ annual report to be published in January 2024. Motion was carried. Council confirmed the following scheduled meetings. October the 5th was the regular council meeting, and I've already enumerated these meetings previously, and so we'll go to motion 12. The council motion 12 was moved by Councillor Stacia Loft and seconded by Councillor Josh Hill that the meeting went private. The council went into private at 12:42 p.m. The motion was carried. Are there any corrections to the minutes of September the 27th or any errors or omissions?
So as previously noted, there are, and I've included them on the drive.
Okay.
And I think they're captured, so I think Amzie can see them, Shelley can see them.
Okay. Is there a mover then to accept these minutes as corrected?
And I think Chris and Ted can see them too.
Yeah, right there.
Is there a motion to accept the minutes as corrected?
I believe Chris moved that.
Stacia,
No, I believe Chris just moved that.
did you move it? Chris?
Sure.
I saw a hand go up. Unless it was a
Okay,
question.
I have to remind council, we can't give nods and winks because people are listening, so you have to speak into the mic, so they know that there was a mover and second. We can't do gestures. So, Chris, is that a move? You're
Motion,
moving?
Chief.
Okay, is there a seconder?
I can second that.
Stacia? Councillor Ted, are you in favor?
Yep.
The motion is carried. Is there business arising from the minutes of September the 27th? David or Angela, the financial analyst position, there was to be an assessment done if the position could assist in other departments. Do you have anything to report today?
Well, that would be on the item when we get to
Motions-
number 5,
motions-
right? And
motion
then I would
6.
imagine Tommy will come in and speak to it, but, or Tommy wants to,
So Chief,
Right.
it's number 5 on our agenda for today.
right?
Yes, number 5, motion 5.
It's
No, that-
It's item 5.
it's items 5. Thank you. It's item 5 on our agenda today.
Oh, okay, thank you. I haven't had a chance to read this agenda because I was traveling and I just got back late last night from the Chiefs Committee on Health meeting from Sault Ste. Marie. So is there other business arising from these minutes?
There is, and it may form part of our discussion when we look at meetings. So I do see a couple of conflicts that have arisen with meeting date of November 15th. So I saw in motion number 4 that we were suggesting to host or have a meeting with Ken Cox. I don't know if anyone sees that there, but this is regarding the wildlife fire hazards, mitigation and resiliency. So we put forward November 15th as a date. That coincides with our regular council meeting. But I also see on our list of meetings that we're going to discuss, meetings outside the territory, that there is an AI Hassam meeting on the 14th and 15th. So the 15th being maybe a potential challenge for us to meet if we have, if you're away, Chief, at another meeting.
Yeah, will you be attending Hassam?
I did not confirm my attendance because it's our regular scheduled meeting.
Okay.
And I did let the organizer know that. So I did not confirm my attendance because that was our council meeting date. So just to
So
point
we
that
have-
out, if
so we
business
have to-
arising,
we have-
we'll have to,
We'll change the meeting date then from November the 15th to a new date then.
Shelley's got her hand up, Chief.
I can't, Shelley has her hand.
Shelley?
So we'll have to change October 11th, as you will be away, Chief, and November 15th.
Okay, is that in the, on the agenda, AMC? So can you change dates or did you put it on the agenda?
You're in Calgary, are you not?
I think you're at the JA Treaty Border Alliance.
Yeah, that's right.
You're away.
Shelley did note that last week and nothing, we didn't get a change. She
Okay.
did raise it last week. I believe I heard you say that. Yes.
Oh, we deferred a lot of items from
Yeah,
last
there's a
week
lot
to
of
this
items.
today though, so we probably never got to that. So can we, can I
Okay,
propose the 18th then?
Let's propose the
local?
date change. So then the
The 18th?
11th is of October.
Yep.
So I believe
The
you're away
9th
that
The
week.
9th is free.
That's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that is Thanksgiving. I choose to actually take that day.
Okay.
If so allowed.
I'm not available next week at all, so.
That the council could go ahead with the meeting, and I'll go to the other meeting on the borderlines, but the council can proceed if they wish to.
And Chief Amsey just notified us, and I don't know if you could hear, but there's also too, you will not be available on the 25th for that scheduled meeting either. So maybe we can revisit this in our scheduled meetings at the end of our public agenda, but just to note that there's a couple of conflicts there. So
Yes.
so let's do that at the end and figure that out.
We can figure that out because my
Yeah,
calendar is
we'll-
very, very full here.
Mhm. Okay.
So we'll figure that out later.
Okay.
We'll have to adjust some dates.
Sounds good.
Yeah, just wanted to raise that now, noting that in our
Mhm.
business, one of our motions that we were identifying a date here. So we may want to not include the November 15th date, extending that invitation to Ken Cox, who may want to remain with the November 22nd date, I believe. Oh, right, November 22nd. Yeah, okay, perfect. So that's the only business arising that I had noted.
I'm sorry, Stacia. I
That's the only business arising that I had noted, so.
okay, just the conflict with the meeting dates.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's correct.
that's fine. Okay. Chris, do you have any issues with any business arising on the agenda, or Ted?
me.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Shelley, is the IFC joint gathering the 16th and 17th, or is that later? Okay, we'll have to clarify because I seem to think that was going to be later in October. I know that there were discussions about people's availability, but I'll check with Will about it.
Thanks, Amity. I see your notes in the drive, just identifying those conflicts where we'll have to find the new dates there.
So we'll go to number 4.
We're on number 3 right now. I think these are meetings that require a council motion.
I just have to clarify the date of the joint gathering. Just let me see. See if that's settled now. Good morning, Kyle. How are you? Hello, Kyle. How are you? Hello. Just hold on. Just...
Perhaps we should take a break.
Can we take,
We'll
yeah,
take a
a
break.
5-minute break, Shel? Thanks. That'd be good. Thanks.
So the meeting dates on number 3, it's now clarified that the Indigenous Services Canada Joint Gathering will be held on November 15th and 16th, and not October 16th and 17th. So that should read November the 15th and 16th. And it's November the 2nd and 3rd is the Iroquois Caucus meeting in Ottawa.
November 29th and 30th. So our meetings have changed
Yeah,
now.
it's,
like
no,
in-
yeah, it's
yeah,
November 29th and 30th now in Ottawa.
yeah, kind of changed in real time here. So the first meeting that I see here is November 6th and 7th is the IESO Symposium in Toronto.
Yes, and I do plan on going to that because we need to upgrade our phase three power lines so we can, you know, have more services, hydro service available to the community. So I'm going to get a briefing note. Tom is getting a briefing note from Hydro on that, which I will take forward to that symposium because right now First Nations lack capital. The same issue is at Garden River with their long-term care facility. They need more power. So the capital upgrades on the electrical system have not happened. And so there needs to be redress on those issues. So there haven't been a lot of investments on the hydro lines. There is three-phase power on some parts of the reserve. I don't know if it's on all of the reserve at this stage, but I'll check with our staff to advise me. So David, can you check where about what the hydro servicing looks like on our grid in the community? So I can be prepared to address it at the IESO symposium.
Sure, Chief. If you and I could talk a little bit more after this meeting to make sure that I understand, that'd be great.
Okay. There are some capital upgrades to just so we have more power. So then there's the November 14th and 15th meeting. I will, because of other conflicts, Stacia will attend the HISAB meeting because she's the appointee to the HISAB board anyway. I go really more as to gather information as to what advocacy we should be doing at the Chiefs Committee on Health. So is there a motion then to approve these minutes as revised?
Perhaps we can go through the rest of them, Chief. So I see that you went through the first two, but just so that we know the others. So I see November 15th and 16th is the ISK joint gathering in Toronto, and you'll be attending that.
Yes.
And then I see November 21st to 23rd. That's the COO Fall Chiefs Assembly in Toronto. And you, and I don't know if anyone else from council will be attending that one.
Is anyone else from council attending?
No, not me.
Ted? No? Chris?
I may attend
Okay.
if it works with my schedule. And then the other one is the November 29th and 30th IC meeting in Ottawa.
You're going to attend that one?
I can attend. I don't know if anyone else wants to. I know I'm on the
I'm not able to.
hiring committee. May have an update.
Okay. So then we need a motion then to approve attending the November 15th and 16th ISC joint gathering. The change dates for the 29th and 30th for Qualcaucus. The IESO symposium, November 6th and 7th. The AI HISAB meeting, Councillor Stacia Locke will attend that because I have other meetings with the ISC joint gathering. And so is there a motion then to approve that travel?
I'll
Moved by
move.
Ted. Is there a seconder?
I'll second, Chief.
Thank you, Chris. And again, the housing meeting, the tripartite table will have to, I guess whenever they nail down the dates, whenever the minister is going to be there, that's the date we'll have to take.
Mhm.
Okay, we're on number 4. There's a letter from Grand Chief Joel Abram, dated September 27th. Dear Chief and Council, the Association of Iroquois and Allied Indians would like to extend an invitation to Councillor Stacia Locke, Tyendinaga Council, to serve as the portfolio holder for the following Chiefs of Ontario portfolios: the Education portfolio, the Justice portfolio. Chiefs Council is agreeable to this arrangement pending your approval. So can we have a motion then to appoint? Go ahead, Chris.
Can we get clarity? That would just be for the duration of our elected terms, correct?
There are some, from what I understand, there are some people that have experience in those portfolios that can just continue on with the work. They're qualified, then they just, I guess it's getting to be more and more flexible because a lot of the, it used to be just that, the Grand Chiefs attended all these portfolios, but they found the workload is too much. And the other thing is the availability of the chiefs, because they get spread pretty thin on, don't have the time to deal with this on an ongoing basis. So they're now incorporating other people to help carry these portfolios, but they are still accountable to the chiefs. They're accountable. It's accountable to the leadership council, which is the Grand Chiefs, and to the chiefs in assembly as required. Because obviously, if they're attending the meetings, then they have to report on what's being discussed.
So as I pointed out to my email to Cheyenne last week, that Tyendinaga has a long history, whether it's Earl Hill, Doug Miracle, is that we determine who our appointees will be, and typically it's for the duration of our portfolios.
But the political associations nominate the people to these Chiefs of Ontario portfolios. So this is for the Chiefs of Ontario portfolio. We nominate people to sit on the Chiefs Council, which is the Chiefs Council, and we nominate people to sit on their committees, but the association nominates who they want to sit on these portfolios that are part of the Chiefs of Ontario. And it really is just who is qualified and who has the time to do it.
Yeah, I'm totally supporting for the duration of our terms, but I think it sets a serious precedent, and I think it might be disrespectful to the incoming council. There might be an individual who's incoming who feels strongly and talented in this area, and that typically this is our
Normally what would
process.
happen is that whoever was in, so the Grand Chief was in that portfolio poll before, but from what I understand, Brandon doesn't want to do this and feels that Stacia is more qualified than he is. And as a result of that, this is why the recommendation, because it's especially the justice portfolio, it's, amending laws and policy changes that UNDRIP and all that kind of stuff should be discussed there, because it's about policies and laws.
Yeah, as I said, if it's for the duration of our term here, 100% support, but after that, I think it's up to the incoming council.
I think they're just looking for continuity. You don't need to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and I guess it's
Well, again, I support it for the balance of our term.
okay. I guess if we get a motion, it'll have to come back then to after the election then, I guess. So are you making a motion then for the balance of our term?
Yes.
Okay, is your seconder?
My motion would be different, Chief, but
Well, obviously
So I don't know.
conflict, so
That's
yeah.
right. I
So
would be in conflict.
my motion, I don't know why, like, the Chiefs Council is agreeable to this. Yeah, I don't know why we're dictating to them who they can and can't.
well, we should
Nominate or have
because I think
as a
as a
portfolio
courtesy,
holder.
they're asking us to.
Yeah, I think it's actually, I think it's honorable I think it's an awesome thing. I can't speak on behalf of Chief and Mrs. Hill and Doug, but I don't think it'd be their intent to want to embarrass our community by any means, and I think they would be proud to have representation at those levels from our community.
Yeah.
I've known them since grade 3 and 4, and I think they're very supportive of all our members. So thank you, Stacia, for stepping up. And
Who have you known since
Take it.
grade 3 or 4?
Miss Chief Hill and Mrs. Hill, I call her Mrs. Hill. I don't call her Lorraine. I don't know, just respectful, I guess.
She was my teacher too, so
Yeah,
I call her
she's
Mrs.
my
Hill.
teacher. And I love the pair of
grade
them,
4,
actually. You know, we
yeah.
have a good relationship with those folks.
Well,
so
I had a very.
I think they'd be very proud of any of
relationship
us being able to step up to
Oh,
these
absolutely.
different
Any community
positions.
member.
So I'm not sure. This is the first time I've seen a request like this come to us for approval. I don't know if it's just for acknowledgement or approval. Chief.
It's
I'm
to
not sure if we're
acknowledge
looking
that,
for.
because she's a part of our council, and
Yeah,
and so I support it.
yeah, I do. I support it as well. So that would be my motion.
Because at
just
the
to
end of the day,
acknowledge
they're
and
not
support
making the
this.
decisions. They still have to be accountable to the leadership, because there's a lot of things that the leadership have
Yeah,
to approve.
absolutely.
They're there to have the conversation, to flesh it out, and I guess if there's political decisions to be made, they don't make them unilaterally or independent. They're
No,
making.
not at all.
I'm sure they're following their policies and procedures, right? So
No, it's our internal mechanisms I'm speaking. to,
So
not
like we don't,
AIA.
it's not as if that she's there just to represent MBQ, she's representing the association.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
So,
that's what I
so
mean.
she has to listen to
overall,
the other
so,
chiefs as well.
Anyway,
And
Awesome.
they're always very
Yeah,
careful
you do
not
that.
to overstep their jurisdiction into what belongs to the community and the rights
Mhm.
holders and all this kind of stuff. Often they'll say, you need to go back to the rights holders.
No, I don't want to disrespect the incoming council regarding there
Okay,
might be a
that's fine.
crackerjack there.
Okay.
that might
So then
want
if
that.
that's your motion, then is there a second then for that motion? And then it'll be revisited after the election. Are you seconding the motion?
I made my own motion as well, I guess you didn't catch.
Well, we got one motion.
No, I'm not
Do I-
seconding
do I
it.
not seconding it?
I'm just following,
Okay.
it's not on here to
So
do
then
that.
it'll read that there's no seconder, and I guess you're in conflict, are you, Stacia?
I am in conflict,
Okay.
absolutely. I
So
am.
then what is your motion?
My motion is just to accept what's in front of us.
Okay, is there a
and,
seconder for
the
that motion?
recommendation for the approval, so.
Is there a seconder for that motion? Okay, no seconder? That motion then, so then I will direct that this here be tabled to the next council meeting.
Like, I can second Chris's motion if that's for time
Yeah.
wise. I mean, I don't know what the
So
review's
we can
gonna do
answer the
though, that's
letter
all.
to say that the
Chris.
council would like it reviewed by the incoming council as well.
I guess so.
So Chief, I have a
I can
suggestion.
do that so we can move
But
forward.
there is
with
no
this.
reason to,
Chief, I have a suggestion. I think maybe, my understanding is that Josh is going to attend this afternoon. Maybe you want to defer this discussion until you have your whole council sitting there so that they can make a decision collectively.
okay, all right, that's fine.
I'm just not clear, Chris, on like the review piece, I guess, because I don't think this table can dictate to AIA
No,
chiefs.
but we dictate to AIA, that's my concern. And
I
it
don't
seems
think we
like
can,
we're
though.
stepping, well.
I think it was
it's-
just,
the
I think it's
office-
just a courtesy.
The
They're
office
writing
extended to
us.
a counselor, okay? Otherwise, the offer probably wouldn't have been there if it only be the association as a counselor.
I don't know.
So the
I don't
incoming
know.
council, that's how we
Yeah.
operated.
I mean, the exception.
I've never
to-
seen this before.
You know, the exception to that, normally as I said before, the grand chiefs, used to have all of these portfolios, but because they were spread too thin, then they started having chiefs carry some of those portfolios. So I took the Chiefs Committee on Long-Term Care because I spoke out the most about it. So they appointed me to the committee and then I became the chair. And the same thing with housing and infrastructure and energy, I'm the chair. But so I'm not a grand chief, but I'm a community chief, but because we have some knowledge of that area, then they feel that, we would serve well in that portfolio.
So, Chief, you've been part of this for many, many years. Is there somebody, do they have other portfolio holders there that aren't?
Well, one of the things I'm not happy about is that, quite often we can't make decisions when we're on these calls with leadership council because they don't have a quorum. There's always this quorum issue that comes up from time to time. And the same thing happened with a lot of these chiefs committees. The people that are appointed on those committees don't show up for the meetings. Another example of that would be the NIHB joint review that went on with health. That was supposed to take 2 years. It took 7. And the reason why it dragged out so long is because the people that were appointed to those committees at the EF level did not show up for the meetings. So they didn't have quorum to make decisions. The government always showed up.
Well, Chief, you said appointed. So who appointed those folks to be
Well,
on those
the
committees?
different regions, and then it was a national committee there that wanted to do.
See, I don't know the
It
whole
wasn't
process.
regionalized, it
That's-
was a national committee. So the chiefs of the regional committees on health weren't involved in the joint review. We had input from when we'd have to pester for updates sometime, and still do.
So
But-
can this table appoint somebody else if we want to education and justice portfolio?
Well,
Can
no,
we do that?
it's really up to the association to decide that.
That's what I mean. So what would this table review then?
But I think all they're doing is asking for just the support of the council that we agree with it, and that's pretty much it.
And I do. That's what I mean. I agree with it, and I do support it.
Well, anyway, there's been a suggestion by the chief administrative officer to table it till Josh is here, and I guess we'll table it.
I guess I just need more clarity on the review piece. I guess that's part I don't understand. What would the next council review? That's all.
I can
And
tell
are
you
they allowed
that,
to appoint? I don't
that
think we
whatever
are.
changes are needed are going to have to be done in a hurry because the clock is ticking, and we
And
don't
that's
know,
why-
and we don't know what the result of the next election is going to be. So anything that relates to capital and policy change, we better get on with it because the clock. If there's a different government there, they may have a different view. They may not agree with any of this reform at all. And it could be an entirely different agenda.
Okay. Because I have, like, I can second that. I just don't know. We need to get clarity of what the next council's going to review. That's all.
Now,
And
one of the
what they can
things
and
on
can't.
legislation, we talked about this distinct indigenous-based health legislation.
Mhm.
We don't know what the unanswered question that we've asked the government is, what is the goal of this legislation? Is it just to homogenize, Indian and Métis and Inuit people together under one policy? And we don't agree with that either. There should be an Indian health policy. Patty Hadju said it because it will impact non-insured health benefits. And right now, Patty Hadju said there's not enough money in the budget now to deal with all the the pressures on that budget from the backlog of needs in First Nations communities. So our treaty relationship is different. The Treaty 6, they have a treaty right to health. We say it does, I guess, for administrative purposes, extend to every person Indian person in Canada. But again, the treaty probably applies just to the people who are the signatories to that treaty and their descendants. So if there's going to be a treaty right to health, that may require a new treaty. But again, those are high-level political discussions. Those are something that we may have input at the EFN, or we may have recommendations that would go forward from our committees to the Leadership Council, and then on it goes. But again, there's just a lot of, there's that. And then how do the UNDA exercise that's supposed to be going on to correct the laws and policies that we find offensive to our rights or to our people. We're supposed to correct those things. There are taxation issues that, we just discussed one this morning with the amending the T4 slips to reflect tax exempt income.
Yeah.
There's ongoing taxation issues, not respecting the exemption at point of sale, which would be an Ontario issue. There's just a lot of things that the discrimination in funding policies with child welfare. Those are legal issues. There still is, the water class action claims that are still reported on and followed up on. There's just a lot of legal issues.
Lots of stuff. So anyway, can I second Chris's motion then, so we can move forward with that?
Yes,
that
the motion
okay?
is carried. Then
Alright.
you'll withdraw your other second motion.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So it's seconded. It's carried then. Okay. Here, let's see. Chris and Terry. Okay, number 5 is the new housing financial analyst term position.
I'm just gonna get Tommy, and David wants me to get Kelly, so I'll.
Did you have a chance to review that, Chris? You want to review that? No?
Just as long as things read up.
Yeah. My thing was,
Yeah.
I'd rather it made a full-time position.
Actually, do you know with
See
the
how it would
volume
fit
of work,
into not just this, but move on, because to
with the
find somebody
volume,
for a 2-year term.
with the volume of work that's there, you need
Yeah.
like an administrative support person to deal with the paperwork, the filing reports, the processing of getting bills paid, all that. That's more of an administrative clerk position. You need one there. You need one down in infrastructure, and maybe some of these other programs need that too, because of the volume of transactions that are involved.
So could this position, that's what I was getting back from last time, can it be used in more than one area? So we
Well,
can
I
create
don't
a
think
full-time
you need
position?
a floater. I think you need a dedicated administrative
For a
support
2-year
person.
term?
Yeah. For there, and they're in infrastructure for sure, and probably
Different again?
in
Okay.
finance too, maybe, I
Yeah.
don't know, but Cecil will be, yeah.
I'm not pretending.
To me, I think the council should rely on the advice you're getting from your directors, because they see the volume of work, the volume of transactions, so they're in a better position to know what they need.
But, and that's true, chief, but theirs is right here, right? Ours is looking here. Like, how can we make this fit across the board, not just here, you know what I mean? Because we know that there is
So
capacity
you,
issues.
you can have a lot of management, but if you have management doing reporting, then that takes away from their providing service. And right now, we had a discussion about particularly with provincial programming, the high volume of reports that they have to make for the money they get. That there's a lot of reporting, so if you have an administrative support person doing that, then they can provide more, because they should be providing service to the community and dealing with them, but if they're just following up on paperwork to satisfy funders, that takes away the time that they need to service the community. Then the community gets frustrated, then they start calling my office, they start calling the counselors, they start going here and there because the volume of work that's there.
I don't think anybody's arguing that point, chief, at all. At least I'm not. I know there's a lot of work there.
So
And over here and
the
over there.
size of the operations, normally there would be an administrative support person to do that paperwork.
But some of the legal
reporting.
issues, chief, that we ran into in the past was when somebody's been working here for more than 6 months, 8 months, or a year, all of a sudden they're considered full-time. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
It's a structural issue.
You have to have a
the-
break in here. I know in the past we put breaks in between their terms,
Yep.
so that didn't happen again.
That, when Carmen and Lori were here, they stopped that. So we've been just following that model. When I was here in 2015 or 2016, or whenever I left, we would only do terms for 3 months, and then they would have to have a mandatory 2-week
Yeah.
break before we would hire
To
them back,
avoid any of that
which
legal
is
stuff.
still, yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't do that anymore. We just do straight up terms, and I believe they got
Oh,
legal.
that's fine.
Yeah, I think they got legal consultation on that.
Yes, because once you do that over a certain period of time, and when it's repeated that way, then individuals are automatically
Proceed, right?
assumed to be
Yeah.
employees at that point. So there's a fine line.
Part of the legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause-
And one of the things we're trying to do now is to call anybody who has consistent casuals and say, like two that I can think of right now are roads and the fire department have like a custodian. It's not a lot of hours, it's like 6 hours where one place, 6 hours at another place. But I'm like, if you need someone and you just keep getting casual contracts to casual contracts, then you need to get this on the organizational structure. And we need to look at, because now we also need a custodian at the former FNTI building, at the new Justice building. So maybe we could actually make a part-time custodian position and get that added to the org structure instead of doing all these term contracts, because we're not being fair to the people either.
No, not at all.
No, that's
So-
right. And that's what,
Yeah.
that was what I was concerned about, this 2-year term thing.
Is Tom available? Okay.
Did you guys have a discussion around how this position could be expanded, maybe into a full-time position in other departments, or is that?
There's some other.
We didn't have an opportunity to have that lengthy discussion because we had just talked
Tommy
about
can
this
sit in Josh's
last.
spot because
Yeah.
he's-
We've had some discussion, like internally. I mean, Kelly and I talked a little bit, and we talked at the executive a little bit and stuff like that. But Tommy's main focus, like
I
what this
know.
person needs to do,
So
needs to
how's
be
our
done for the
command?
next 2
Good.
years. So expanding into other areas, it's not going to happen in the
Well,
first
you'd
2
be-
years.
But you'd be lucky to be able to find somebody for a 2-year term as well, though, right? That's
But
all.
I'm just wondering, can we not say, can
I'm
we?
open for making it permanent immediately.
Okay, let me
just-
finish.
Right now, I have an abundance of capital projects.
Yeah.
There may not be that abundance.
No, that's right. No, I totally understand it. I mean, I understand where you're coming from as a director.
There's still always gonna be capital projects.
Because you're looking at this, I'm trying to look at this, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
overall
Yeah,
picture.
so
Whatever.
the same thing goes on in Todd's area because we have a lot of capital projects there, a lot of capital projects in Tom's area.
Yep, and Todd has someone right now, but a person
So with
who.
Nora, so she does a lot of the day-to-day paperwork and the processing of bills and, doing the number crunching for
Yep.
reports. But right now, all of that work is falling on Tom.
Yep.
Plus answering,
We're not giving it.
plus answering services, trying to direct staff, trying to stay on top
Yep.
of stuff, answering funder questions. It's all piled on him all those departments that are busy like that should have an administrative support clerk.
I think if the council is asking for this to be made a permanent position, there's no argument from our side in saying that's great. And in 2 years, if there's not a lot of work, there'll be something else for them to
And
do
like,
because we're only growing.
And the other thing is that the day-to-day with managing the rental portfolio, like what do we have, 200 and how many houses? 200.
We're current, there'll be another 7 more added here.
So how many will that be?
113.
Pardon me?
213, sorry,
215?
213.
113,
250.
213, 213.
It's so hard to hear in here. 213 houses, so it keeps growing and growing and growing. And then there's follow-up. Are the rents getting paid? Are the repair issues getting done? Managing complaints, government reporting on funds received, all that kind of stuff. They need some help. So
Can
to
I
me, this
ask my
person could help Tom with a lot of that. Chris? And then Angela.
Chief, I move to accept the recommendation, and can we get off our agenda? I've been here 3 hours, and we've done like 3-4 items. With all
Okay.
due respect.
Yeah, okay. Angela, what, you had your hand up?
Well, I was speaking before, but what I was going to say is, can we not say it's a term position with the possibility of full-time employment? That's all I was going to ask, but if Chris has already made the motion, I guess it's mute.
Okay, it's moved by Chris to approve this, to approve it. Is there a seconder?
Just a question, are we approving the term position or a permanent position?
Well, what's on the agenda is a term position.
I,
But we just had
I-
a discussion about the importance, sorry,
and,
Tom.
and I
about the
positioned it
importance of
as a term position, knowing that the workload may change in the future, and that I thought it would be more of an appetizing approach going that route.
Yeah.
I have no problem making this permanent initially, like right off the bat. We'll probably have a better chance at getting a better candidate if it's permanent,
I agree.
so.
I agree. It's like people will, to catch a good person, they're probably already working. So by doing it as a permanent position,
So then what
we're
we
more
should
likely to
do-
get someone.
That's right.
We also have
Yeah,
people potentially retiring in Tom's shop, so all of his 3 other staff are probably nearing retirement age, so there could be some good succession planning with that, or potentially moving it into
Yeah.
a financial, quasi-financial position. So there's gonna be stuff after the 2 years. I have no doubt that we can't
Okay,
keep this person
but I
busy.
guess what's happened when there's growth in projects or growth in the housing portfolio, for example, that there are management and administrative tasks there. There's more bills to pay for repairs, there's more hours to keep track of, there's more government reporting, we got funding to do some of that work. There's helping people with the applications for like RAP or some other program, then they've got this new $20,000 program. There's a lot of interaction there with people.
Oh, we 100% know there's more work than there is for the people that we have.
And there's probably a better
Oh,
chance that you
David?
get more
David?
work in 2 years than less work.
Absolutely.
David?
yeah, Chief, I just wanted to say that to sort of support everything that folks are saying, when we look at the organization itself from 2017 until now, it's grown from delivering 97 program lines up to 145. So that's a massive growth. And in terms of Tom's shop, when you look at the work that he is having to deal with specifically relating to things like the long-term care at a minimum, there is an essential need for this position. I would suspect, based on the trend that I've seen since I've been here, that there won't be a shortage of work for this person if they're put in a permanent position today. I would recommend approving it as a permanent position. And I think that even if things change, that the volume of houses that will exist at that time would probably necessitate having another body in there anyway, and maybe the work description might change a little bit. But I certainly think that a person that would be brought in on a permanent basis at this group and level would be advantageous for the organization.
So instead of a 2-year term position, we're going to strike out 2 and just make it a permanent position.
We have a motion on the floor right now.
Okay, what is the motion?
So Chief, I can
Chris?
change my motion to reflect what I'm hearing and make it full-time, no problem.
So it's just
Well, it's
a
already
permanent,
full-time, it would be
a
permanent.
permanent
for
position?
this. Yeah, a
a
term
permanent position. Okay, it's moved by Chris. Is there a seconder?
No, I can second that.
I think it's a wise decision.
I believe so too.
Yeah. You're gonna
It's
get the
approved, and
best
so
candidate.
do up the job description and,
It's done. Everything's done.
It is
Tom,
done.
I just want to
Do the
tell
posting
council, and I've told this to the executive, I've told it to David, Tom's package was so fulsome and so great that we actually want to make it into a template so that all future ones coming to you have done it. So Tom did a remarkable job in this case, and I just wanted to make sure that you guys also
I
knew
mean,
that.
because at the end of the day, there is only so much work that one person can get done in a day.
For sure.
Preaching to the choir.
we all know that. We all know.
It's Chris and Stacia.
Awesome.
Or
Thank you.
excuse then, chief.
Well,
Tom's
you
done.
are.
Oh, sorry, Tom, I tried. Start the car.
Just keep it idling.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming in, Kelly.
Thanks.
Much appreciated.
The splash pad is the next item. Thanks, Tom.
Sorry.
Yeah, for the next two, yeah, we have the splash pad, Tom, and then we have the volleyball courts.
So we've got a couple proposed designs back from ABC, based on feedback that we gathered from school at QMS, and then an online survey for the off-territory residents. Those results were looked at by the Parks and Rec Committee, and then summarized and moved around and looked at to try to incorporate the culture and tradition as much as possible. I was nervous at the beginning that that was going to be difficult to do, but we were able to come up with doing the turtle design as the pad. As you see that there's a tree in the middle. So what we're trying to do is relate to the creation story. So we met with TTO to try to get some feedback from them to see if we could collaborate with them a little bit. Their idea was that on the fence that we'll put up around, we'll have storyboards, kind of similar to the Thanksgiving address storyboards that you can see scattered through the community. So each panel will depict a certain visual of the creation story. There'll be a VR code that someone can use to get the creation story in both Mohawk and English. And then, unfortunately, that's probably the limit to where we were able to get with the splash components. They're not as customizable as some industries. So we do have a wolf cannon and a bear cannon. They're a little more cartoonish than what I would like. That's the problem. So we're trying to incorporate the culture and tradition as much as possible, but there's a fine line between where if you're not doing it properly, that it borders criticism, right? On that side.
Yeah.
But I think we've got a nice blend of it. The turtle looks awesome. The con to the turtle is that to be able to do that intricate design, they had to do it in rubber. So there's an up price to the rubber.
So there's a letter there in your package. Does council approve supporting this letter to go to Tom Miracle? So I guess the total budget is $840,000, which includes $790,000 hard costs for construction, $25,000 for engineered costs, $25,000 for restoration and landscaping. Based on previous discussions, splash pad project, we'd like to inquire to see if you would be interested in providing a contribution. The amount is there, which will be matched by both Community Development Fund and council.
In the budget that was presented.
So then does that contribution need to happen in order for this project to go ahead?
Not at the budget that was presented.
Okay. So then is there a motion then to send this letter to Tom Miracle?
Well, don't you need to pick the option
Yeah,
first?
Chief.
Chief, I support sending a letter to Tom, but I was here a year ago and told council a couple of times that Tommy sat here, not this Tom Bildall sat here and said to council, I would strongly consider committing to this project, but I want to be involved from the get-go in the planning. And he said that over and over, and I reiterated it over and over. Now here we are a year later, and we're just sending him a letter on a done deal. Basically, and I think we did double check our emotions. I think we only committed to $250,000. We maybe rescinded it to go the increased amount to $375,000. But again, though, this project was approved a couple of years ago almost, and here we are now, the 11th hour, asking for his commitment.
Okay,
So-
Stacia, your hand is up.
Sure, yeah. I feel like we're a little bit off track here. I feel like the first piece of business here is to land on this briefing note and the splash pad design. So if we can determine that, then we can determine what the course of action will be for following up with folks in the community who have either committed funds to this or not. So maybe we can deal with the first piece, which is the design piece, and what options that Tom's presented that we're comfortable with. So that might form its own discussion, but I think we need to have that discussion first.
So I understand, Tom, that you've had a professional advice on what this needs to look like. with the design?
So we've contracted with ABC Recreation. They provided what the conceptual plan will look like. Once we confirm that concept, that will lock in the budget, and then we can deal with
Okay.
Vortex.
So then do we have any other design option that council can look at besides one that's been presented here
So,
that the engineers have looked at?
so option one is a 5,000 square foot splash pad with the turtle and rubber. Option two is a reduced version of that. I think it's around 4,000 square feet.
So that was 80-foot diameter for the
Yep.
5,000, and what's the diameter of the other one?
It's 4,000 square feet. It's probably somewhere in the ballpark of 70 to 70.
Okay.
Yep, 70-foot diameter, chief.
And then the third option is to not do the rubber and the turtle and just do the plain concrete pad, and to look at putting that, all the money that would, from the project budget, into the splash components.
Okay, let's see this here. Chris?
If council were to approve the increase, when would this project be initiated?
It'll be started this fall and finished and commissioned in the spring.
I'm sorry, say it again. when-
Start it this fall and commission, and depending on how quickly we get the parts, most likely finished and commissioned in the spring.
Chief, I'll move with option one.
Okay, so anyway, it does say that the two options there, in option 2 and option 3, that the last bullet point is that it wouldn't change ambiguous commitment, which would still be $375,000.
Correct.
I'm just trying to read up here on option 3.
So previously.
To remove the turtle design,
Yeah, previously council committed to 375,000.
it saves $750,000.
So to go with option one,
And that wouldn't change the $375,000.
the 375 doesn't change for any of the options. However, for option one, it would increase TCDF's commitment to us, which they've already agreed to.
So
that-
just to articulate Chris's support for option one, so that's the larger turtle design, and it's a total project budget of $840,000. Okay, right?
So I agree that the turtle is very cartoonish.
No, this
That
turtle's
was the-
actually
that was
nice.
you should have seen the first one that came towards us.
I think this one's nice. I think what Tom was saying, that
It need-
incorporating clans, there were some
Yeah.
of those figures looked
It
a little
needs
bit
some
cartoonish,
marks on
so.
its back, because
Yeah.
turtles have those marks on their back.
We can try, I just don't know if you can get that kind of detail.
Okay,
Mhm. This is really nice. So I wish that we could project it so that folks who
So
are
if you-
watching.
Yeah, I
you
don't know
see
how
what it looks
that
like.
could actually be done or
Yeah.
not, but there was a video that was uploaded that you could see the 3D spin around it.
Ooh. Oh, I didn't
Cool.
see that, but that's okay. I see
I
it
uploaded
better.
that.
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay.
well, maybe you can add that after.
should be a zip file.
So there
Okay.
there
So I can
is
second, that was your motion, right, Chris?
option 1.
Your motion was option number one, and I can second that. And there's a motion on the
Oh,
floor.
there is videos. Lots of videos.
It's been moved by Chris and seconded by Stacia to select option 1 for the design.
How exciting.
I know, I'm gonna,
So I guess
Play
if
it.
these donations don't pan through, then does the council contribution have to increase?
No.
No.
The only, if the extra contribution comes in, it will decrease your commitment.
Okay. All right, that's good. So now the letter then to Tom, is there a seconder, a mover just to send this letter?
Just to clarify too, so the last meeting that council had, that concern was raised that to get Tom's thoughts ahead of time, but it was also reiterated that that's what council had empowered the Parks Committee to do.
Yeah.
And that was agreed upon at that point, which is why we proceeded to get something to present to Tom versus just hear what you want to do.
Okay, is there? So we selected the design, so then I guess the next thing is to ask Tom for a donation. Is there a motion to send this letter?
Motion to send the letter, chief.
Moved by Chris. Is there a seconder?
Yeah, I can second that.
Stacia? Okay. Ted, are you agreeable?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you put my
I support
signature
the
there
request,
instead of
sure.
on the back page? I've signed it, but it would look, the letter would look better.
Sorry, there's just a typo on the bottom, construction, it says constriction.
Okay.
So you might
We'll
need
get
to
a new one.
re-sign that.
Yeah.
Second last paragraph, first sentence.
The volleyball courts. Attaches the final design and project update for 840,000 to build a new splash. So that's approved, TMC. That's Chris and Stacia.
Oh, now the videos are good. No, I'll try. Okay.
The volleyball courts.
Chief, can we get some clarity?
Sure.
I thought the council had agreed to do this in-house. They agreed to get Greer Galloway, they agreed to get the in-house crew to move it, my understanding. No?
What's your understanding, Tom? No?
That we just had commitment to do the design so that we could present that to council.
So,
We can, if that's how council wants to proceed, we can,
so when this was presented a few months back, wasn't it tabled with the in-house crew doing the removal of the existing beach volleyball court at a cost, I want to say it was 70-ish? Wasn't that tabled? The plan was for
I don't recall.
TMC to have her in-house crew move it, and Greer Galloway was going to
so
design it, because I said, here we are a year and a half later, after I said I didn't want to have consultants involved, and here we are a year and a half later, it's still not built, and consultants are indeed involved. And I could have swore that the package showed in-house doing it.
The request for the last package was to do the design. So if council wants to proceed with BPM doing it in-house, we can look at
That
it.
wasn't tabled?
We only look, the only recommendation that was provided that we were looking for was the approval to hire Galloway.
And it wasn't tabled for TMC to approve?
There was no project budget approved at that time.
Okay, I'll double check.
So the cost of going ahead with this is $107,525. And
That's
what-
the estimate. So
and-
I had worked with Bill Dahl to, so I shared the design. They reviewed it and they provided a rough construction estimate for it.
And so the recommendation is to approve the project plans and preliminary project budget totaling $107,525. And option 1 is recommended by the Parks and Recreation Committee and supported by the Housing and Abandoned Property Department. It addresses the concerns received from various sources regarding the existing location. It increases the financial impact of the project, including the above costs, as well as approximately $19,000 spent to date. TCDF has agreed to cover the costs of totaling $107,525. Recreation will take longer than finishing what was started at the current location. And the other option was to do not finalize, do not relocate and finalize what has been started. So and then the recommendation was to approve the project plans and preliminary project budget totaling $107,525. So just to be clear, where are we building at a new location or the existing? A new location, okay?
That's a recommendation.
And that will all be accommodated with this $107,525.
That's what our estimate is, yeah.
And all that material.
Yes, and TCDF has indicated that they are going to pay for it.
Okay, then what will happen to the existing site? It'll just be, say it like it is, or?
No, we'll have to bring in more pushing the topsoil and cover it.
To remediate that piece, yeah.
Okay. So what is the motion of council? Chris?
Can I get some clarity? It's mentioned about costing from Tom Bildall. Is it suggested that Bildall would be doing this move? No? Who would be doing the move?
If we're gonna go with a contractor, we would get quotes.
So what is the plan? What is the plan? What are you suggesting to council, that in-house move or a contractor moves it?
I would be going with a contractor, but if council wants to go with BPM as the option, we can look at that.
So you're suggesting a tender then to move this?
You could do a tender. I would have looked at just getting 3 prices, but yeah, we can do
Three
quotes.
prices, yeah, okay.
We can do a full.
No, you're just saying a bid process you're projecting.
Tom, so it was Mark Crawford from Buildhouse. He was kind enough to assist us with pulling together the construction costs at no cost to us.
My position hasn't changed, Chief, since day one. Professional landscape architects, other professionals have agreed with me that we could install it at the current site at a fraction of the cost being proposed.
Okay, so I guess the recommendation is here before the council to go ahead with this project at, approve the budget and $107,000, $525. So does council approve the recommendation? If so, we will need to move it and seconder.
I'll move option 1 with the recommendation, chief.
Is there a second for option 1?
Yeah, I second that and full support.
Is there anyone opposed?
I'm opposed, Chief, for reasons listed. I'm all for the beach volleyball court. Nobody wants it more than me, but this whole process I find unacceptable.
So you didn't like the process? What, do you want to record the reason for your negative vote?
Yes, Chief. I had done the research. Experienced landscape architects and other professionals agreed with me that we could proceed with the original location at a fraction of the price. It's what had been projected.
That's
And
a shame
again,
it didn't make its
council-
way back to our table. I didn't see
And
that.
I must say, I'm disappointed with the council knowing that this project was approved, I wouldn't say 2 years ago, but a long time ago. And I know there's workloads, et cetera, and I'm glad we're taking measures to hire people to help with the workloads. But some of these items just seem to take a long, long time.
Respectfully, if you would have proceeded the way this process, it would have been done a long time ago.
Well, whatever.
Okay, that's fine. So I'll record those reasons for the negative vote. The motion's carried. Thank you.
Thanks.
So option 1, it's approved.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tommy.
See you later.
We've done that. Oh, Tom, we need a motion here to approve. And it's called the customer service contract, and it's for temporary service for the long-term care patient.
I'll move.
Moved by Ted. Is there a seconder?
Yeah, I can second that.
Stacia, are you agreeable? Chris, motion's carried. There, it's signed.
Signed and initialed by everybody?
It's all signed, sealed, and delivered.
Double check.
Yeah, double check. I've signed it, but if there's space
They
for
did.
initials,
I checked it. They're at all the council signed except Josh. He's
Who's
not
not
here.
here?
Okay.
And all the pages do Tom, is it just me that has to initial all those pages, or the whole council?
All of council, I said.
All,
Everybody.
you have to initial all of
I
them?
don't think I did it.
Okay, then have them initial all of this.
That's just in case, I guess.
I think I put on there, everybody.
Initial where, beside mine.
I don't think I did either.
So initial at the bottom on every page.
Yeah, I do see your note here.
I did, and I underlined.
I didn't see that. When it came to me, it said, here it is, and it was
Well, you know,
open.
Angela, in all fairness, I need at least to be some time to look at this stuff before the meeting starts. I've been away, okay?
But normally,
that was
normally
just given
these
to
would
me
come to council.
by
For
Tommy.
whatever reason, Hydro every now and then loves it for a while. the signature block.
Yeah,
for chief economist.
I've never seen this before, yeah.
They did it last year. I argued enough that they stopped doing it, but because of time, it'll take me 2 weeks to get them to change it. At first they agreed to it, then another
Well,
week to change it.
But of course,
Ted has just mentioned that there have been some issues where there has been, with lack of easements, but yet work has been done on private property.
Yeah.
And so I presume this is coming to council because we own that property and it's our project.
Generally, they'll come and get you the signature block just as often. Either David or
I was gonna say, I was wondering if he was coming around.
yeah, he's on the run.
I suspect that Hydro probably got it into sticky situations by doing something on a First Nation that maybe.
Well, we've got that pole issue with Harvey. It's a bell pole for the wellness drive.
We're still live.
Okay.
That's an example, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
They were really moving on that home care facility though. Wow.
Yeah, and if
That's
anybody
nice.
wants to.
Initial
it's
signature
like
page?
we're going to
Okay.
set that up.
Angela?
I wanna
The
go with,
stars will
like,
never line up.
Well, the
ever
weather's still
God's
nice.
greenery.
Okay, I'm loving it.
I think it'd be cool to see this like as it starts.
Yeah.
Are we taking pictures along the way, like of progress? Awesome.
Yeah, you have to for
I think that's
Infrastructure
cool.
Canada. They require pictures.
Do they?
Yeah.
Corville does it too for their, things.
I just think it would be nice that there's like a dedicated spot on our website or something like that that kind of shows the
Do a
progression. of
time
it.
lapse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, that's right.
As it progresses.
Memory.
Well,
So kind of
Well, I had to get
report
after
to
the
community.
chiefs of Ontario. I said, you're too slow.
such a
We've
huge
got a
project,
political
right?
commitment. Let's realize it. Organize the meeting, please. Let's get on with what we need to do.
A drone too or something?
They're rigging it in. Yeah.
Nice.
There's a lot of fence spending to be done there with the Ford government too, over the Greenbelt issue and some of the other issues that have happened there. But Paul Flander has a lot of respect for me, so I think he'll work well with us.
yes.
Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome for getting that, Priya.
He has respect for me. I don't know about the chiefs of Ontario though. We'll find out.
We will.
So I think you got one more regular business there,
Correct. We have one more
chief, to do,
item.
and then it's private.
Okay, and then the other, Chris wanted the candidate
Identify
forum.
some dates.
The word on the street is that none of us are running for chief and council.
Hmm.
I said, well, I hadn't heard that. I don't know where that rumor came from.
So you don't listen to rumors.
That's right.
You ask folks
So I did mention
themselves.
the candidate day changed, right? 21st.
The nomination.
Sorry, yeah, nomination. And that was to meet some time frames or something for the electoral officer. So the 21st is nomination and voting is on,
Still the same.
what is it?
Still the same, right? December 2nd.
December 2nd.
December 2nd. So do you have dates proposed, Chris, for the candidate nights? Do you have any
Put
idea?
it for council,
Oh,
get it, community center.
What's the date?
They just threw it out there. There's no date.
Probably mid-November. Couple dates.
Mid-November?
Yeah.
When is the nomination?
21st October. And the second is
Nomination's 9 o'clock. I got it here at the school. Okay. So when do you want to pick a date? The hall is really quite booked. Well, maybe not through the week though. When's the hall available? When are you looking at? Around the 20th to 24th?
How about they're gonna get the bookings and we can go from there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would suggest. Let's find out when it's on a Saturday. That might work better, seeing that there's a lot of travel for folks in November.
yeah. that's
One
true.
on a Saturday, one during the week.
I'd have two.
Yep, there is. Yeah, one during the week and one on a Saturday. So maybe we can just check for availability and go from there, because we might be limited with options. Let's see. Yeah. an evening during the week and then during like an afternoon on a Saturday, early afternoon.
We want to set the dates and then think about how you want to
Format it?
format it, I guess. Maybe you would format it after nominations and you have an idea of how many is involved. Would that be easier? I don't know.
Haven't we normally in the past had whoever was moderating that determine that structure based on our past guidance that we've been using? I don't know if it's necessarily council that structured that.
I don't. We'd probably give input though. You know, things change, right? So something a little different.
I was saying to Ted earlier today, though, that the two agendas, the two formats should be significantly different and not be afraid to stray from what we've done in the past.
Yeah, sure.
Is our lunch here to know? So we need dates for this.
I think
We're
Shelley
waiting for
wants
Shelley
to
to
find
get
out
the
the
dates.
dates, and I don't know.
Yeah, so maybe we can look at our, maybe we can move to our other agenda item, which was our final one, which is to identify dates where we have those conflicts. Maybe we can do that now. So that's for October 11th, October 25th,
Regular meeting dates.
November 15th, and November 22nd.
Lots of dates.
Chief, lunch is out there getting cold. You want to break for lunch and then reconvene?
Yeah,
Well-
but we.
Well, maybe we can finish up if everyone's agreeable, just our public portion.
Yeah,
and
we
then
can. So we got people online, so we'll do that. October the 11th. So what dates am I available? But again, the council can go ahead if I have other meetings. I mean,
What are you talking about, Chief?
October the 11th is local business. I don't even know if anybody will be on the agenda.
I'm not available that week anyway, Chief.
Ted not available?
No. Wait. I suggest move to the 18th. Does that work?
But if
Or no?
it's up to council.
Well,
the 11th of October.
Move it to the 18th of October. It's local. I know regular's on the 19th, but it's just the night before.
That's fine. I'm okay
Work
with
for
that.
yours?
The
Is that
11th,
easy? Is that
I've
easy,
got,
Chief?
I'm going to Calgary.
No, moving it to the 18th. We've already
18th?
identified the 11th as a conflict, the 25th.
I
November
can
15th and the
come
20th.
on the 18th.
So I think, yeah,
That's local.
Ted's proposing the 18th.
Everybody agree with the 18th?
Yeah, I'm just going to
That's
move
easy,
it
that
in my
one.
calendar.
Okay, so the 18th is good for everyone? Chris? Any other thing you booked, Amzie? Okay, so then the 11th will change to the 18th, the next one.
What's
the
next
25th?
conflict? Yeah,
October 25th
that's a conflict.
October 25th.
is the conflict. So identifying another,
They're to go over the meeting dates right now. The conflict of the meeting dates.
How long, what's the 25th? Is that just a 1-day conflict? Because it's a local meeting again. Can
It's
we
a
move it to the
local
next
meeting.
day?
So
Well,
what's
26th,
what's the conflict, MC?
oh, we don't have that on lists out, or meetings outside the territory.
October 25th is
Oh,
what?
2 weeks ago? Okay, so that's not, okay.
It's
got
not
it.
in my calendar. Is it? Well, I'm looking at October 25th.
Okay, so, right, so then.
Oh, the RDM Power Up Data Sovereignty?
Sovereignty, now I remember that one. So then the 25th, and then when Is he back?
That's also going on the 26th as well.
Oh, I'm not.
That's probably not good for local,
Friday.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can make 30th work.
I can make the 30th work as well.
30th work for you? It's a Monday night.
That's local.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, not the next local, the one after the next.
Yes. Sort of shifting these. Okay.
What would be that date? Sorry. October.
So we got 30th then, chief, for local then, because that's open in your calendar.
The 30th?
18th and 30th for a local is
Okay.
being proposed.
So instead of the 25th, it'll be the 30th.
And then the other conflict is November 15th, which is a regular council meeting, so that's finding a full day.
That's the ISC, so Stacey's not available and neither am I that day. So we could have it on the,
Well, I'm still available because I haven't confirmed my attendance at the other yet, so.
we
but
could have it on November 13th. The Monday.
Regular on the Monday, November 13th? Yeah, I can make that.
That's fine. Okay.
November 13th, all right. Is that it for conflicts?
November 22nd is the other one. I believe the
That's
chief
another
is
local?
away. That's a local, yeah.
So when's the chief back from that one? And
Yeah, the 22nd too. He's a-
you know when he's back? After the 22nd? Oh. Oh, okay. Do you want to move that just to the 23rd then, local? Thursday night.
Sure. That
That
should be
work for
fine.
you? What's that, sorry? Oh, let's not do that. No,
It's in my calendar, STD, ATR, AI Matriarchal 2S Summit.
How does the 21st, yeah, how that be? Oh, okay, so no, that don't work that week. don't work.
27th maybe?
27th?
Yeah. Let's do the 27th instead.
Oh, okay, yes, I can, 27 work for you, Chris? It's a local.
And there's no rushing. Yeah, it's a full day. Okay.
No, November 27th is local
Oh, is
business,
that-
isn't it?
Yep. That's
Yeah,
correct.
that's
Local
No, I'm
business.
just saying, but that would be a full day of travel coming back and then having to
Or
go to-
somebody's traveling on 27.
No, the previous day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it would've been
I'm
hard.
used to that, of coming like that, like that,
Yeah.
getting here. That today's a good example.
I am
was
too, but I
traveling
don't
till
prefer
10:30
that
at night last night.
at all, and I don't suggest that for anyone because it doesn't feel good.
It's been happening for 30 years.
Well, look at, they're giving you a break this month, or the next 2 months.
So is that just the 4 meetings?
Yep.
So the 18th and 30th is local,
Mhm.
and then November 27th is local?
Correct. And November 13th is regular.
So we have October the 11th, will be now October 18th.
Mhm.
We have October the 25th, will now be November the 13th.
30th.
No.
30th?
October 30th.
30th, okay. October 30th. There's something going on the 30th, just hold on. Iroquois Caucus.
No, that's November. We're in October. We're talking about October right now.
October 18th, 30th,
October 18th?
and 30th. October 18th and 30th is local. Now, your calendar was clear. Right, Andy?
Yeah, MC just verified that your
So-
calendar
so,
was clear.
which one are we amending? Is it, which date?
We are amending October 11th to the 18th.
Yes, I
And
got
then
that.
we are amending October 25th to October 30th.
That's what I've got.
Okay, but then we're amending November.
But Iroquois Caucus was moved, right?
Iroquois Caucus is in
It's in
November.
We're
We are
talking-
talking
Yeah,
about
that
October.
was the wrong month there.
Yeah, wrong month.
That's
So,
what makes it confusing.
Oh, yeah.
I know, so November 15th has been moved to November 13th for regular. And then November 22nd has been moved to
Okay.
November 27th for local. And Amcy's verified that your calendar,
Good,
Okay,
you're
that's fine.
available.
Good
That's
to
fine.
go.
Okay.
Is there a motion then to revise those dates?
Yeah, I can move that.
I'll second.
How come these dates are wrong on the agenda form? Is there just confusion or?
They, yeah. Correct, yeah,
In real time.
in real time.
Always got dates.
Okay, dates for,
Okay, so the date for the nomination, the candidates nights, we better pick a date and book that.
Shelley's got dates.
So that this, through the week, there's the 7th and 8th, the 19th, the 17th, or the 24th. 17th and 24th are Fridays.
Well, what's Saturdays open?
So they have, the 4th is open all day. The 18th is only available after 6 o'clock.
At night?
The rest of the month, it's booked
Oh, boy. That's
for
really,
upstairs and down.
that doesn't give people much time to get their stuff together and do their thing, before.
Afternoon session.
There is no afternoon on a Saturday, though. Only Saturday the 4th, right?
it's booked.
The 4th.
Yeah,
November 4th is the only one for,
that's
A
pretty,
weekend.
that's only a week or two after nominations. And a month yet to before elections.
yeah, that's pretty early.
Yeah,
And then, yeah.
Well, there's the IEC.
have to have them both through the week.
The
maybe.
7th and 8th are the IESO forum.
Oh, yeah, you got other stuff in November too, lots of stuff going on.
Yeah, if it doesn't work on a Saturday, it doesn't work on a Saturday.
Yeah,
So you have the 7th and 8th, or the 19th, and the 7th and 8th, the 19th. The 17th or 24th, but the 17th and the 24th are Friday. The others are through the week.
yeah, that Friday night's probably not a good time.
Well, I guess we should take the 24th then, if that's what's available.
Sorry, the 19th is a Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I wouldn't have it on Sunday.
so it looks like we're down to the 7th and the 8th.
So which
Because
way,
that
the
eliminates
7th or
the
8th?
Fridays.
7th or 8th is one day? Which day?
No, 2 dates, chief.
7th or the 8th.
Or both.
Or
That,
both.
that's the IESO symposium, so we could have it on the 8th. 8th of November?
It's also our local meeting, which we would then have to change.
Gee.
Yeah, they got local business
Yep,
there.
we can change that though. I mean,
What's
it's kind of local, right? If you're gonna do.
What's open the week of the 24th? What was open that week?
Only the 24th, I
Only
heard.
the 24th.
Every
Or
night,
Friday.
every night before it's used? Monday to Thursday? Wow.
Wow.
So close to Christmas, I guess, doing lots of stuff going on.
So the 27th is booked, 28th is booked, November?
Yeah.
Okay, let's settle on the 8th. Are we gonna go with the 8th?
But we're gonna have 2 dates.
Yeah, but is the 8th one of them?
I'm okay with that.
Is everybody available on the 8th?
Well, it doesn't matter if we're available. It's if the candidates would need
yeah.
to make themselves available
Yeah.
at that time. So
It's
it
kind of
doesn't hinge on us, on our availability. It hinges on the availability of the spaces that we have and when other people are available.
Shelley, what's available the last week in November, early in the week?
That'd probably be the ideal time.
But it sounds like there's
Sounds like
November
Well,
8th.
you just said you're gonna have the local council meeting on the 27th. So the 28th,
you're
the
right.
28th should be free. The 29th, there's Iroquois caucus in Ottawa.
Well, November 8th is actually local business, but you can move it.
So then we would have a meeting till 10 o'clock, then they can head off to Ottawa in the middle of the night.
No.
Yes, because it's the next day,
What day are your caucus meetings in Ottawa?
the 29th and 30th.
Of
Yikes.
November, yes.
But I can do that.
Not unless we see if they can move it up.
As I said, I've been doing it for 30 years. You can do it too. You can take
Yeah,
a turn at
we're all
it.
invited to caucus. We're all invited to
Yeah.
Iroquois caucus. We can go. We can all do the same thing.
What about late in the 1, 2, 3?
The
third
first is
week?
too soon,
What about the third week in November?
okay?
What's the date?
Shelley's
Council
going to
there.
look at some more.
So the 18th is free.
But Monday to Thursday kind of thing.
The 17th, she said.
What I heard was available in November was the 7th and the 8th, the 19th, the 17th, and the 24th.
19th.
And the 4th all day.
And the
which is
4th all
really
day.
soon.
The-
Or
the
and November
19th is-
18th after 6.
The 19th would be a good day. That's a Tuesday.
Works for me.
In November, chief.
Oh, so let me see here. Back here. I'm in
The
December.
19th is a Sunday.
The 19th, yeah, but we can't have it on Sunday.
Oh, the dates I gave you, they're booked those days.
Oh, okay. There we go. Here we go.
Sorry about that. So,
So let's start again. What dates are free? November what?
all the dates,
Yeah.
except for the 7th and 8th.
Oh.
Well, go to the, towards the end of the November.
So
What do you got?
Not the 7th and 8th, okay.
the second last week, so the week of
That'd be
the
all right.
20th. The 20th is open, 21st, 22nd, 23rd.
There you go. So what's the 20th? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
Yes.
So it is? Okay. there you
There's a
go.
leadership council at the
Oh.
Chelsea, the 21st. The Niagara STD Matriarchal Summit, Niagara Falls.
I don't think we're setting this meeting though, like,
But if we're in election mode, sometimes chiefs, just say they're not available because they're having an election.
yeah, I was going to say, I think we have to set the date regardless of our schedules because it's about who can make it to the forums, right? So it's not actually based on our schedules. I think we just have to pick the best dates that are available for people to maximize that time for individuals who are running.
Well, Saturdays are open towards the end of the November. Any?
You have the 18th in the evening.
Just the evening? Saturday evening? Oh, that's no. People won't want to do that. So
They
it'll be
might.
2 dates through the week, then.
They might, you never know.
Saturday night?
And the following week, it's open the whole week.
What is?
It's
The
open
20th
the
to
whole
20
week,
Which,
the week of the 27th.
Let's set a date there.
is that good?
Yeah. One night during that week.
27th is our local meeting, that's all. Everything else around that is okay?
28th,
It's open. It's open
28th, Tuesday.
the whole week.
The 28th works for me.
Oh, there you go. Hey, nailed one
In
down.
the evening?
You have to
7
have the other
o'clock?
one right away then. Does the 29th work too?
No, the chief is, okay.
Okay, so you got the
We've got
28th,
Iroquois
that'll be the
Caucus. So the
second.
28th, the 27th would be better because we've got to go to Iroquois Caucus the next day, to Monday
So you
night.
said 27th?
The 27th, then you're
If
not
you just
getting out
choose the
late at
local
night and getting
Yeah,
in your
but
car
we'll-
driving to Ottawa.
So that'd be
Far
good for the
enough.
second meeting. What about the first one though?
November 27th with the second meeting, so
Well, I'd say so, wouldn't you? Because the election's on the 2nd. So, does the 23rd? That's a Thursday. Is that open, 23rd?
I can make
that
it work.
work?
We can just
No?
not, tell we're not available to go to the Chiefs thing.
Oh,
in-
what do you have
yeah,
that
yeah.
week, Chief? 20 to 23rd? Anything open that week?
The Coup Fall Assembly is in Toronto, all day. So I should go to the Chiefs Assembly. Do you want to try a Friday night, the 24th?
It's too close to the 27th.
But the election fervor will start, then people will be interested.
The 25th is full, Sean? It's a Saturday.
Yep.
What's, you said that you got something on the 28th, Chief? What's your 28th?
The 28th?
What is that?
Well, it's just that the Iroquois Caucus is the next day in a meeting in Ottawa. But
Oh, that's in Ottawa.
if that's what you can make, I
Saturday,
said the
18th,
28th. I
available
would
in the
drive to
evening.
Ottawa.
Yeah, I think the 18th.
18th?
I think I know it's available in the evening, but I think when we were first talking about having 2 nights or 2 opportunities, dates for candidates forums, that the first one would be for introductions and the next one would be maybe for questions if we're talking about, some sort of format or thinking about what that could look like. So maybe the 18th in the evening would be okay if that's focused on individuals who want to introduce themselves, whatever platforms that they may have. And then for the one on the 27th, on that Monday, that could be for questions then at that point, like the forum piece. I don't know, that could be
18th,
something, I'm
27th.
just throwing it out there as a suggestion for people. That
How's that?
might work.
Sounds good.
Then there's enough space in between for, you know, yeah, for that. So from the
18th and
18th to the 18th and the 27th.
Beautiful.
27th,
18th and 27th.
18th and 27th.
I hope this doesn't intimidate folks who are listening from discouraging you. Yeah.
Okay, so there will need a motion then. The candidates forum will be on the 18th and
Motion.
27th.
Motion.
Okay, and so can you put that in my calendar, please? 18th and 27th, candidates forum.
So I believe the 18th is after 6 p.m. So I think we can decide on that time. We could have it at 6 p.m. if we wanted to schedule it for then. And I think for the one on Monday, I think
Usually
we would have 7, but we can do 7 for both so that it's consistent.
I think 7 to 10 would be the best solution because that's what people are used to. People have their supper and then you don't,
Yeah.
Oh, all depends what format you're discussing, I guess.
Yeah,
eh,
it depends
Chris?
on the format.
Yeah, how many's involved, format.
Yeah.
and are you going to have a
That's all,
moderator?
that's all that's available. Oh, yeah, I don't know if you could hear, but that's the only Saturday that's available in November.
I think you should.
Dan Brandt didn't he do the moderation last year? I think he did.
I can't remember.
It was a virtual. This year it won't be.
Larry Hay.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So I guess we need a moderator, then who's going to do that? Because if they're candidates, we can't be involved in that.
Well, we can just leave that up to administration.
Yeah, we
now
leave that
then.
to administration to
Yeah,
identify
that
a
way we're not-
moderator.
I'm not interested in doing the political part of this. I'm administration.
Just whoever's available.
This is
But
the
no, to
political part?
identify a moderator.
No.
No, sorry, not
I'll
for
ask
staff to
somebody.
do the moderation.
I was gonna say, I'm not,
Oh, no,
not
no,
doing
just to
anything
identify
with
someone.
with the politics.
No, this was for staff to identify someone who can be a
Yeah,
moderator for those
that's all.
2 forums, for those 2 dates.
Because we should be isolated from that anyway. really, instead of
Absolutely.
Picking our own.
Yeah, even selecting the date seems a little strange to me, honestly. Like,
How else do you do that?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't think it's up to us. But here's my point I was
Oh,
trying to
I
make is it doesn't depend on us and our calendars. It depends on what dates work best that you're going to maximize participation and engagement. It has nothing to do with our schedules.
No, that's true.
Right?
So if
It
we had
doesn't.
so if we have a governance piece to follow, it would already been taken care of, right?
Yeah,
So that's what's missing at this table is that
yeah, yeah.
piece.
exactly.
And I think it started over there. Now it just needs to be picked up again and adopted. I think she can sent something around the other day about governance pieces, for chief and council.
Yeah.
Training or whatever. So that's a good idea. I probably highly recommend that for the next.
So it sounds like we have the 2 dates then, the 18th and the 27th at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Right?
Format
And I
to
think
be
you have the
determined.
motion. You made the motion. Was there a second?
No, we'll need a motion. Who's moving?
I think Kristen moved it.
You're moving, Chris? Okay, and who will second it?
I can say.
Seconded by Ted. Motion's carried. So we've concluded that part of our business with the agenda, the public portion. So we will now take a recess for lunch, and then when we reconvene, we'll be in private. So I would like to thank any of our guests who are joining us online and wish you a good day. Thank you very much.